Okay, welcome back everybody to Rock Movie Reviews. Jake is joining me once again.
Yep.
And today we're talking about yet another DCEU film. This came out in November of 2017?
Yeah.
Yes. This followed Wonder Woman, and this was the film that Batman v Superman was setting up a year prior, almost a full year prior. And that is the highly anticipated but maybe underwhelming for a lot of people, Justice League.
They said the age of heroes would never come again.
It has to.
What are your superpowers again?
I'm rich.
One thing I can tell you is you got to be free.
My turn.
Come together. Right now. Come together. Right now.
Shall we?
It's good to see you playing well with others again.
Just like a bat. I dig it.
Maybe temporary.
Alright, so like I said in November, I saw this movie opening weekend, and not everybody's going to agree with me on this, but I enjoyed this movie. Does it have its issues? Absolutely. It doesn't have as many issues as Suicide Squad. I don't think it's nearly as bad as Batman v Superman, and I enjoyed it more than Man of Steel. That being said, the elements of Man of Steel, like Henry Cavill, I didn't think he was as good in Justice League, but I thought he was better in Justice League than he was Batman v Superman. Really? Just because of what he was able to do in the film. So, oh god, this is going to be a little difficult. The plot of Justice League, you've obviously seen the movie, so
Yeah.
the Justice League needs to team up to take down a new threat, and that new threat is Steppenwolf, which was a character that was teased in the Ultimate cut of Batman v Superman. And people were really excited because that meant the possibility of Darkseid as a villain.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. We got Steppenwolf instead. And we'll get to him. So that's roughly the plot in a nutshell. Obviously, you have Henry Cavill's Superman is dead currently because of what happened in Batman v Superman, and Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot, Batman and Wonder Woman, are now recruiting Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman.
Yep.
Who we had only been introduced to in small little flashback snippets on a computer in Batman v Superman. So, again, a lot of mixed feelings. This also had troubled production. It was originally going to be directed by Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
And then, very, very sadly, I believe his 20-something-year-old daughter died from a drug overdose.
I thought it was suicide, but I could be wrong.
Drug overdose is an attempt of suicide, but it's also accident.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, and that was incredibly sad, and he had to step down from the movie, obviously to grieve with his family, and of all people, the director of the first two Avengers films, Joss Whedon, stepped up to the plate and took over the rest of the movie, that's interesting for me, considering he did Avengers, and then he got a chance to actually work on Justice League.
Yeah.
He's now worked on the two large Marvel and DC team-up films, and I find that interesting, but it makes sense. I don't know why they went with Joss Whedon. Maybe because Zack Snyder trusted him or whatever.
Maybe.
But it felt like a really interesting choice, and I remember when the movie came out, there was the whole mandate about the fact that the movie had to be 2 hours long. This is a movie that actually could have been longer, in my opinion, and I would have been okay with it. The difference is, with Batman v Superman, there was a large chunk of that movie that I felt didn't need to be in it.
Yeah.
With Justice League, I was like, I'd like a little more, please. So, you know, very, very different feelings than from Batman v Superman. Why do I keep comparing the two? Because they're both big team-up films with all the main characters. Arguably, this is supposed to be bigger. So you've got your cast. You got Ben Affleck returning as Batman. You got Henry Cavill returning as Superman. Both of them I thought were fine. I thought Ben Affleck did a good job. He was more comedic this time around. Not everyone liked that. I did. Henry Cavill as Superman had some really funny one-liners I wasn't expecting. He's not in as much of the movie as you'd expect.
Yeah.
He's in about half of it. But when he showed up, I was like, oh, this is more like the Man of Steel character than the BVS character. And I was like, thank you. Let's give a little bit more of that, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then you've got Ezra Miller's The Flash. You know what? Call it what you want, but I thought he was funny.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed him, and most of his comedy really worked for me. Jason Momoa looks awesome as Aquaman. Is he the greatest actor? No.
Yeah.
But he certainly looked the part. He was really fun, and I loved his interaction with the rest of the group. Ray Fisher as Cyborg was the only one that I thought was fine.
Yeah.
He was perfectly fine, but he didn't stand out for me. He had some good lines, but I guess I wasn't expecting much from him, so when I saw the movie, I was like...
Now, was he the guy that played Cyborg? Okay.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I didn't really care for Cyborg that much, but then again, he didn't really do a lot in this movie, so...
And we're not even sure if we're going to get a Cyborg movie, so he's kind of been shortchanged. I guess the Snyder cut that doesn't exist is there were supposed to be some deleted scenes to show how he became Cyborg.
Yeah.
But we kind of just see him after having become Cyborg. And it's like, so I think it would have helped if we had seen a movie of his, because we got an Aquaman movie after this.
Yeah.
So I think a Cyborg movie would have helped flesh out some things. We're not even sure if we're going to get a Flash movie now.
Yeah.
The script and the directors keep leaving and then coming back, and then more people come in. So will that ever get made? I don't know. But again, Cyborg was very serviceable for me. He was passable.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Diane Lane's back as Martha Kent, which is Clark's mom, Superman's adopted mom.
Yeah.
Not given that much to do, just like in Batman v Superman. But what she did do in Justice League, I enjoyed more.
Yeah.
So there was that. Lois Lane gets more to do here than she did in BVS, but not to the point where she's like really in it that much.
Yeah.
She's in a couple scenes, kind of like Diane Lane, and she's fine. She doesn't make any stupid decisions.
No.
So that's good, right?
Nope.
And you understand why she misses Superman, and that element of it actually worked, even though their romance was kind of forced in BVS. Do you agree with that?
Wait, with what?
Their Lois Lane's romantic relationship with Superman, the fact that it was a bit forced in BVS. So that was that. J.K. Simmons pops in there as Commissioner Gordon. He's totally underutilized. He's in one scene and that's it. But he was good in the scene. I was like, J.K. Simmons versus J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man trilogy, and now he's Commissioner Gordon in Justice League. They should have used him more. Because he was really good. He had a great line where he's like, good to see you playing well with others. He said that to Batman.
Yeah.
Good line! Anyway, sorry, getting a little too hyper. And then you've got the film's villain, who is voiced, not played, he is voiced and maybe motion captured by Kieran Hines. He's not of this country. I don't think he's American. I believe he's from another country. Yeah, I think he's European. I can't remember where. He's got a great, intimidating voice. However, I felt like Steppenwolf, similar to Doomsday in Batman v Superman. He's not as bad as Doomsday, considering that he actually talks.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Besides his voice being kind of intimidating, his character is completely CGI. Reminded me a lot of Enchantress's brother in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And his flying demon things that we saw originally in BVS.
Return to this movie.
And they're not that intimidating either. They're cool looking, but they pretty much are just like a big horde for the Justice League to fight.
Yeah.
And unlike the Avengers with the Jatari, which I thought were actually pretty nasty, the flying things, which I can't remember the name of, they were just kind of there.
Yeah.
So besides looking cool, that was about it. Yeah, Steppenwolf for me, very forgettable villain. Probably my biggest problem with the movie is the villain.
Yeah.
Steppenwolf just doesn't. He's not up to par with the Justice League. So when they fight him, it's like you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Also, I feel like the Justice League didn't really have nearly as good a chemistry as, let's say, the Avengers did in Marvel.
Oh, absolutely not. But I think it helps that that Marvel built up the Avengers much better.
Yeah.
And they had their solo films come out prior, for the most part, save for Hawkeye and Black Widow. And the chemistry was just better. And I think Joss Whedon also, I think he tried to make it work with the Justice League, but the aesthetic was different from the Avengers. It was more dark than it was playful.
Yeah.
And that was a mix of tones. You could tell that it was directed by two people, Joss Whedon and Zack Snyder, because at times you got the Zack Snyder feel. But then other times you had that comedic feel that Joss Whedon brought so well to Avengers, and it was like, that's funny, but that didn't really fit right before the scene. You know?
Basically, you'd rather have like one feel over like multiples.
Yeah. Even though Zack Snyder is credited as main director, Joss Whedon directed half of it.
Yeah.
He's just as one of the executive producers or something, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they should both get like half credit for making the movie. Maybe it was Zack Snyder 3/4 of the movie, and then Joss Whedon did a quarter. I can't remember. I read an article that was 50% of one of them and then 50% of the other. I don't know if that's true. So that's the cast in a nutshell. I don't even remember if Lawrence Fishburne's character makes an appearance in Justice League. I don't think he does.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. That's about it for the cast. The action in Justice League, okay, similar to BVS, there's a lot of CGI in this movie.
Yeah.
However, I think they utilized
too much.
Yes. I think they utilized it better, and it wasn't quite as over the top as BVS. You may disagree with me. I thought the action was more fun in Justice League. Was it still a CGI mess? Yeah, but I liked the use of practical effects they had in the end fight scene with Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
That was fun. And they used slow motion in Justice League just the right amount. I felt like they used it too much in BVS. I thought they used it sparingly in Justice League, but comparing to BVS, anything's going to be more sparing, you know?
Yeah.
And I like the fact that the whole finale of Justice League, it was originally really dark filmed, but that it's actually this red hue. They're like in this red cloud.
Yeah.
Remember? Joss Whedon's feel was that. It wasn't Zack Snyder's. Would it have worked better with his aesthetic? I don't know. I felt like it would have reminded me too much of BVS.
Maybe. I mean, I know you say how like BVS lacked a lot of color.
Yeah.
This movie for me almost had too much.
Too much color.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but that's where it stands apart from BVS for me, because I want more color, but you're right, it did go heavy on the red at times, went heavy on other colors. I like the introduction back to the characters, like Wonder Woman stopping that bank heist.
Oh yeah.
That was cool. So there are plenty of good moments in this movie. I just feel like, well, they were still trying to atone, so to speak, atone for their past sins, the previous movies, except Wonder Woman. This film got a 40-something in the Rotten Tomato range. That's still a rotten score, but that's much better than the 29 or 28s that Suicide Squad and BVS got, and Man of Steel was a 50-something.
Yeah.
So while it wasn't as good as Man of Steel, enjoyable, yes it was. Entertainment level, I enjoyed Justice League more than Man of Steel. I'm just going to say it. Like I already said, I think Justice League has a number of problems.
Yeah.
But I think it has less problems than the previous DCU films that I could say I genuinely enjoyed. There are people that straight up hate this movie.
Yeah.
You're not a huge fan, so not everyone's going to be. But I enjoyed it, and I liked the chemistry between the Justice League. We may never see it again, considering that this is one of the lowest grossing DCU films. That's sad.
Yeah.
Considering Avengers is one of the highest grossing.
Oh yeah.
Poor Avengers.
Yeah. And Endgame is like
I know.
$5.5 million away from beating Avatar.
You think it's gonna do it?
I think so.
I hope so.
And if it doesn't, it might actually tie it.
If it, you know what? I'll settle for a tie, but Avatar needs to get knocked out of first place.
Yeah.
Because we're never gonna get the Avatar sequels. Whoop! Was that out loud?
No.
Speaking of Avengers Endgame, next month is August and it comes out on DVD. We will be reviewing Endgame because we both saw it. I saw it twice in the theaters. God, that movie. That is a trip.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Might be my favorite of 2019. I'll have to think on that. But definitely up there. So, getting off of Avengers and back to Justice League, We already talked about the cinematography and the action. You and I were mixed on it.
Yeah.
The music by Danny Elfman. At one point, Junkie XL and Hans Zimmer, or maybe just Junkie XL, were going to compose it. Something fell through when Zack Snyder left, and I think Joss Whedon wanted somebody else.
Yeah.
Danny Elfman came on. His score is fine.
Yeah.
The Justice League score is fine, but I have to say the music by Gary Clark Jr., I believe is his name. The song, what is it? It's something together. It's Rise Together. I don't remember, but the main song, the main team-up song,
Yeah.
was really good. I actually liked it a lot. It didn't meet Avengers level, but it was the most memorable music from that entire movie, and the score was just kind of present.
Yeah.
That's about it for me. So, if I had to score Justice League, I'm just gonna get out of the way now. I think I enjoyed this movie more than you, the way that you're talking about it. Again, an improvement on the last couple movies. I think it's better than all of the previous movies except for Wonder Woman, and I'm gonna give Justice League an 8 out of 10. That might be a little generous. I really enjoy this movie, and I will definitely revisit it because it is very fun.
Yeah.
What's your score?
I'm dividing 8 by 2 and rating it 4.
Oof, that's lower than average, so obviously Jake didn't enjoy it as much as I did. Not everybody will enjoy it as much as I did, and maybe some will enjoy it more. This all depends on your expectations of the DCU, and if they come up to standard or not.
Yeah.
So that's it for our review of Justice League. We've got one more coming up, actually 2, but we're not doing Shazam right now
Nope.
because you haven't seen it.
No.
But we'll be doing that soon, hopefully before August. And we will be talking about Aquaman, last year's Aquaman, in the next review. So stay tuned for that. Take
Alright,
care.
see you.